Hey guys, in this video I'll be going over the radios for the Mirage F1CE. The Mirage has two radios. It has one radio up here. This can do UHF and VHF, and it has one radio back here. This is UHF only. Let's go over the first radio. This radio can do VHF and UHF, and it can do manual frequencies or preset channels. Right here is the power switch. If you set it to AR, that is off. If you set it to PAL, that is on. If you set it to PAL plus G, that will be on, so it will allow you to talk, but also listen to the guard frequency at the same time. And then the other two positions, F1 and H, don't do anything. This switch here is for setting the power to 5 watts or 25 watts. I'm not sure if it makes a difference in DCS, but the manual says to just use 5 watts. This switch is for choosing how you want to select your frequency. If you have it on M, it will allow you to dial in a manual frequency here. If you select P, it will allow you to talk on a preset channel, and you can choose the channel with this switch here. You program the channels in the mission editor, and I'll show you how to do that a little bit later. And if you select G, that selects the guard frequency. This switch here is the squelch switch. If you flip it down, there will be a static noise. If you flip it up, it will turn it off. And this switch here is a test switch. If you push it forward, it will test the transmitter, and if you push it backwards, it will test the receiver. Now I'll show you how to program the preset channels. In the mission editor, you click on your plane, and you click this button here with the radio tower, the pink one, and you can type in the frequencies for the channels for each radio. If I click on Kobuletti here, you can see the UHF tower frequency is 262, so I'm going to program the channels now. I'm going to do channel 3, so for the first radio I'll do 262, and I'm going to go to the second one and I'll do the same thing, 262. Now I'll go over how to talk with the radio. First, turn on the power. You can either do PAL or PAL plus G if you also want to monitor the guard frequency. Then for the power switch, I'm not sure if it matters in DCS, but the manual says you should just put it to 5 watts. Then make sure the squelch is on. Then you need to decide if you want to choose a manual frequency or talk with a preset frequency. I'll do a manual frequency first. So this switch here, you set it to M for manual, and then you type in the frequency. I'm at Kobuletti, so since this radio can do UHF or VHF, I could talk on 133 or 262. For the preset channel, I already chose 262, so for the manual frequency, I'll just do 133. So I'm going to type in 133. Now we're almost ready to talk. The only thing you have to do left is come to this panel right here. This is the panel that controls the different volumes in the plane. This green knob is the volume for the radio, so use your mouse scroll wheel to make sure the volume is turned up. The green one is for this main radio, and the red one is for the other radio we'll talk about later. You need to click on the knob that you want to talk on. I want to talk on this radio, so I'm going to click the green knob. Whatever knob you click will be lit up, so right now the red is lit up, so I'll click on the green one to select it. Now everything is set up and I should be able to talk. To open the radio menu, you click backslash on your keyboard. It's the button right above enter. Let's click ATC, Kobuletti. And if this works, when I click request startup, they should talk back to me.
Kobuletti, Springfield 1, request startup. Springfield 1, Kobuletti, cleared for startup.
As you can see, it worked. Just to show you, I'm going to choose a wrong channel and try talking to them, and it will not work. So let me choose a random frequency, and let me try talking to Kobuletti now, and this time it should not work.
Kobuletti, Springfield 1, request taxi to runway.
As you can see, they did not talk back to me because I was on the wrong frequency. That was how to use the manual frequency. Now I'll show you the preset channel. For the preset channel, all you do is switch this knob to preset. And earlier I set the frequency in the mission editor to preset 3. So I use my mouse scroll to go to preset 3. And I'll try to talk to Kobuletti now, and it should work.
Kobuletti, Springfield 1, request taxi
taxi to runway.
Springfield 1, cover ready, clear to taxi to runway 7.
Now let's go over the secondary radio. This is very similar to the main radio. The only difference is that this is preset channels only and UHF only. Let's go over the switches. This is the power switch. Once again, I'm not sure if it matters in DCS, but the manual says you should put it to 5 watts. This is the squelch switch. If you turn it off, there will be a static noise, and if you turn it on, it will silence it. This is the test switch. If you point it up, it will test the transmitter. If you point it down, it will test the receiver. This green button doesn't do anything. This is the power switch. AR is for off, M is for on, and F1 and H don't do anything. And this is for selecting the channel to talk on. Let me demonstrate talking on it. Earlier in the mission editor, I set it up so channel 3 is the right channel. So let me scroll to channel 3 and turn it on. And remember, we have to come back to the volume panel. Remember, this is the UHF only radio, so I'm going to select the red one. And you can see the red one has the U next to it for UHF. Use your scroll wheel to make sure the volume is turned up all the way. I click / on my keyboard to open the radio menu, and I'm going to talk to them and it should work.
Caballetti, Springfield 1, abort takeoff.
Springfield 1, taxi to parking area.
As you can see, they talked back to me, so it's working. Those were the 2 radios in the Mirage. Last thing I'll go over, since I figured it would be good to put it in this video, is the rest of this panel here, the volume panel. Like I mentioned earlier, these 2 switches here, the red and green ones, are for your 2 radio. The green one that says U plus V is for this top radio. The red one that just says U is for the bottom radio. And if you scroll with the mouse wheel, that adjusts the volume. This switch down here doesn't have a light, but if you select it, it allows you to talk to the ground crew, and you can adjust the volume. This switch right here says RAP plus CME. If you scroll on it, it adjusts the RWR volume. If you click on it, my understanding is that if you click on this one that says RAP, it basically just deselects everything else. Then there's these 3 switches on the left. This top switch adjusts the volume for the missile warning. This one adjusts the volume for the TACAN, and this adjusts the volume for the VOR. Then there's this switch here, which is the amplifier switch. This amplifier switch just adjusts how the amplifier for the radio is powered. I'm pretty sure if you set it to 1, it's powered by the generator, and if you set it to 2, it's powered by the battery. But in DCS, it probably doesn't really matter. I would just leave it to 1. That was radios for the Mirage F1CE. Thanks for checking out this video, and I'll see you later.